when Seward bought Alaska. You didn't know why he did that. Everybody said Seward's folly. How about Seward's genius?
They thought it was a bad deal.
Yeah.
How much?
$7 million for Alaska.
That's so funny.
2 cents an acre. Now, let me tell you something. A guy named Klaus Naske, who was a doctor of history at the University of Alaska, I used to teach his kid how to swim. Him and I were at a social function someplace, and we were talking. And we were talking about the purchase of Alaska. And he goes, you know why we did that, right? And I said, well, yeah, Seward wanted to buy it and $7 million. He goes, yeah, we gave $7 million to Russia. I said, okay, they sold it to us. He goes, why do you think they did that? I said, I don't know. They said it was because the seals were gone. You know, they had gotten all the seals trade done. He goes, that's not why. During the Civil War, Russia blockaded Charleston Harbor with their warships, and it helped the North win the Civil War. And the bill for that was $7 million. And they knew they couldn't just go out to America and say, yeah, the Russians helped us win the Civil War.
Really?
This is what he told me. He's a doctor of history. And I said the same thing. He goes, yeah. He goes, nobody talks about it. Nobody even mentions it. But Russia took the $7 million and they gave us Alaska. That'll justify this $7 million.
Whoa.
Anyways, Alaska, I think, coming from the guy that told me that, he's dead now, but I believe it. But back then, there was no fact checkers. There was no way to tell people what was going on. So let's just tell them we bought it.
That's interesting. Russia helped the United States win the Civil War. See, have you ever found anything on that, Jamie? No. I've never heard that before. I wouldn't be surprised, though. Well, sure, back then they could hide all kinds of shit, too.
The North didn't have the Navy.
It says, while all this is transpiring, one of the most unusual events in diplomatic and naval history occurred. Russia dispatched her Atlantic and Pacific naval squadrons to the United States ports. They arrived in New York and San Francisco, respectively, in September 1863, at a time when the tide of war had turned in the favor of the North at Gettysburg and Vicksburg. The fleets remained in the United States waters for about 7 months before being ordered to return to their homeland. Oh.
They must have had wooden ships then, because I just found their first ironclad ship was built in Britain in 1861.
Whoa.
It said it stayed in Russian waters the entire time.
Whoa.
Because they had their own civil war just after.
Bro, they were going to war with wood ships. Gangster.
They knocked the shit out of the SEAL population.
Oh, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. They were really good at what they did.
What did they used to be like? SEALs everywhere up there?
Oh, yeah.
And are they endangered now? Like, what's the...
I don't really know because we don't have any in our area, but I have a friend that's a mechanic who's telling me he had a lady come into his auto shop and said something was wrong with her engine. And so he went out and told her, he said, it looks like you blew a seal.
No.
And she said, no, I had tuna fish for lunch. Yeah, you don't tell a comic a joke, do you? Yes, I've been saving that one.
I know that native Alaskans are allowed to hunt seals, and they eat them.
Yeah.
But regular people can't.
I think they share.
There's weird rules on that, though. Yeah, you might be able to share, but you can't
subsistence harvesting.
Yeah, you ever watch that show, Life Below Zero?
I have seen that.
Yeah, part of that show was like this one guy was living with this native Alaskan wife and their kids, and they would go hunt the seals, and she would like shoot the seals, and she had to pull the trigger. Then he could help like butcher them up.
So there's about 141,000 in non-glacial areas now. The Wikipedia says that there were 300,000 before once population in the 1850s.
Oh, no, that's sea otters.
Oh, so yeah, I guess I read that wrong.
It says once a population of 300,000 sea otters was almost extinct. Russia needed money after being defeated by France and Britain in the Crimean War. The California gold rush showed that if gold were discovered in Alaska, Americans, Canadians could overwhelm the Russian presence in what one scholar later described as Siberia. However, the principal reason for the sale was that the hard-to-defend colony would be easily conquered by British forces based in neighboring Canada in any future conflict, and Russia did not wish to see its arch-rival being next door just across the Bering Sea. Therefore, Emperor Alexander II decided to sell the territory. The Russian government discussed the proposal in 1857 and 1858 and offered to sell the territory to the United States. So it was before all that in the Civil War, hoping that its presence in the region would offset the plans of Britain. However, no deal was reached, as the risk of an American Civil War was more pressing concern in Washington.
Plausible space for our new news today in this story.
Our new news?
What he said about the Russian ships, that kind of fits. It could happen.
Yes, because it says 1857 to 1858, they agreed to sell it, an offer to sell. So they agreed, but then they had to put it on the back burner because of the war. So then after the war, they bought it. So it might have been that they said, look, we'll still buy it, but help us out.
This is how we got to cover our
Yeah,
ass.
that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, this guy's like Dr. Emeritus in history. I mean, he knows it. Did
The problem is then you have to trust those guys. I'd rather trust Wikipedia.
Yeah. Anything I read on Wikipedia's got to be true.
Way less sea otters now. 70,000.
Oh, there's only 70,000 left?
Yeah.
That's sea otters, though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sea otters are vicious little